don't ever do a water change and a filter cleaning at the same time. If you do, you're gonna crash your cycle and kill all your fish. Sound familiar? It's a very common rule of thumb in the aquarium hobby. Even I've given that advice before in the past. Check it out. Number 5 is gonna be, don't do water changes and clean your filters on the same day. Well, I have a question for you. Obviously, doing a filter cleaning is going to disturb and kill off some of your beneficial bacteria, even if you do it the right way. What's the right way? Check that video out right there. But if beneficial bacteria do not live in the water column, which they don't, they live on all your tank surfaces and on your biomedia, then why would it matter if you did a water change at the same time as a filter cleaning? That's a great question, Kev. Thank you, bro, but I can't take credit for the question because I got it from one of you, the viewers. Big thanks to Leslie for the excellent question. Let's get into it. But first, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kev, and here you'll always find helpful information on the aquarium hobby that gets straight to the point. I try my best to put out weekly content, so if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button and consider subscribing so you don't miss any new content. This rule of not doing a water change and a filter cleaning at the same time is true and not true, mainly because it depends on your individual maintenance practices and your tank's maturity level. In general, this rule is directed at beginners in the hobby or anyone that has an immature new tank setup. When I say immature, I mean a tank that's either currently going through the nitrogen cycle or it's just completed the nitrogen cycle not too long ago. You know what I mean, a young tank. When your tank is young, immature, newly set up, whatever you want to call it, any loss in beneficial bacteria can be detrimental to your fish. When you're a beginner in the hobby, beginners tend to overdo things, overcompensate, go above and beyond, especially in the beginning. Beginners can easily over clean, over water change, over vacuum, mess with the tank so much that they'll be killing off beneficial bacteria and not even know it. While there isn't any bacteria in the water column itself, there's tons of it on your decor, on your substrate, on your glass, anywhere that there's surfaces in your tank. And when beginners water change or do any maintenance in general, they can disturb everything. Beginners will remove equipment and wipe it down. They'll over vacuum and disturb too much of the substrate. They'll remove all the decor each water change and scrub the heck out of it. You know what I mean, guys, but no judgment. We've all been there before. So when this type of over maintenance is likely from beginners, complementing that with a filter cleaning where you absolutely will lose some beneficial bacteria, that's gonna be a recipe for disaster. For that reason is why this general rule exists. It's directed to the beginners. But now let's talk logical. For those of you that laughed at what I just said, because you remember doing those things too, we understand that it's okay for us to do water changes and filter cleanings at the same time. I can easily do an 80% water change on either one of these big tanks, which I do weekly, by the way. Check it out right there. And if it's time for the filter to get cleaned on that same day, I have no problems cleaning that filter and doing those big water changes on exactly the same day. Why? Because big or small water changes are not going to affect your beneficial bacteria. Water changes are simply removing the water that has high levels of harmful nitrates and replenishing the tank with clean, mineral-rich water. Now, it's still the same story with filter cleanings. Even if you do it absolutely correctly, you're always going to disturb your bacteria. You're taking all of that stuff out of your filter. It's gonna happen. You are gonna lose some beneficial bacteria. But in our case of having a mature, established tank, that minimal loss of bacteria is not going to affect anything. There's so much bacteria everywhere in your tank that they're going to quickly reproduce and you're not going to get any problems with ammonia spikes, nitrite spikes, anything like that. But what I do and what I recommend we all do is stay on the safe side. Every time I do a filter cleaning, I dose the filter itself with C-Chem stability in order to help reproduce any of that bacteria that I may have lost. Is it absolutely necessary? Maybe not, especially in this tank because I've got 2 FX6s on there and the second FX6 is loaded with biomedia, it's loaded with beneficial bacteria and all the bacteria that's inside the tank itself. But like I said, I'd rather err on the side of caution and sleep good that night knowing that all the ammonia being produced inside these tanks is getting taken care of. Remember, we never want any ammonia inside our tanks, and if you got a new tank setup and you got one filter and you just did a filter cleaning, then absolutely you should be dosing some C-Chem stability inside that filter or any other bacteria in the bottle product. For beginners, the loss of beneficial bacteria in a filter cleaning may be significant, especially if you're not doing it the right way. Are you just tossing away your filter cartridges? Are you cleaning your sponges and your biomedia with tap water? Any of those things is going to cause a crash in your cycle. But that's not the only time it's a good idea to use bacteria in a bottle. Check this video out right here for exactly when you should and when you shouldn't use it. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. It helps the video out a ton, and I'll see y'all on the other side.